Big Tractor Power fans, this video comes to you from a farm located in western Kentucky that plants 12,000 acres of corn each year. In this presentation, I would like to share with you the corn planting process, from putting out the fertilizer to harrowing the soil and preparing the seedbed and planting the crop. This farm utilizes a fleet of machinery to put out the corn crop each year. They use 5 440 engine horsepower John Deere 9R 440 articulated four-wheel drive tractors with 60-foot wide John Deere 1775 NT 24-row 30-inch space corn planters. Before the corn grows in the ground, they put out fertilizer using 4 640 engine horsepower 9RX 640 John Deere tractors and 1 673 engine horsepower FENDT Vario 1167 MT tractor using BluJet 60-foot wide application bars. Following right behind the applicators, the farm uses 6 John Deere 7R and 8R tractors ranging from 210 to 250 engine horsepower, operating 50-foot wide McFarlane harrows that help smooth out and firm up the seedbed ahead of the corn planters. Now that you have an overview of the corn planting process on this farm, we're going to head out to the field so that you can see these big tractors and implements at work, as well as taking time to ride in the cab of the tractors to visit with the farmer Billy to talk about the anhydrous application process, and with my friend Matt, who is one of the employees on the farm planting corn. I'm up in the cab of the 673 engine horsepower FENDT 1167 Vario MT. It's a very nice, smooth riding tractor. And you can see here it's running at about 1,700 RPMs and running 7.5 miles per hour across the field with a 60-foot BluJet toolbar. Flying and Billy, it's great to be back in the field for the spring. This is your second FENDT 1167. You had the first one in late 2021 and now a new one for 24. So I guess you really like this tractor to have had two now on the farm.
Yes.
How is the CVT transmission when you're doing work like this?
Oh, it's very nice. Just like right now, I came into some part of pulling dirt. You know, the tractor would take care of itself. I'm running a set speed, but it's trying to maintain that speed. But if it gets in harder conditions, it just changes on its own. But you don't even notice a change in it except for a little different tone in it.
Well, it's also nice and tight turning here on the end rows. You've got it set on the 120-inch tracks.
Yes.
And that provides better
spacing.
Better ride.
Well, it also is supposed to help on turning, on a pull, on a curve. That's a two-track tractor's always been a little tougher to make turns. That helps you make turns and do a better job with it. At least most of your two-track tractors will just about shut down on a real hard turn. This one does it much better.
Now, you also run the Deere 9RXs, and there are 4 of those working out here today. How do you like the the comparison between the 2-track and the 4 tracks? And
you know, my guys love the 4-track machines. It's the 4-track machine is, you know, they're different animals. It's gonna ride a little rougher than this one, but it does turn. It will make good turns. It's probably better in really wet soils. With this one, I have to have a drawbar that I can swing if I have issues with one track wanting to spin out versus other. Well, a 4-track machine would just pull itself out.
So you like the hydraulic swing and drawbar?
Well,
helpful,
you need it with these tractors. It does make a big difference if you're in really wet conditions. Of course, you know, you hope you're not running the whole field in wet conditions. It's hopefully just a portion of it. In that situation, actually, the 4-track machine is a little more desirable. But in good running conditions, these will ride smoother. I love the transmission. Well, I just kicked it in right there, and it was just a real smooth transition when I went up to the higher gear.
And it's just all push button right there to control your speed and set it in.
Yes.
So how many acres a day can a tractor like this get covered when you're putting in hydrous if you got good running and
that's a loaded question.
Your tanks are all where they need to be, right?
Yesterday, I think I sheared 120 boats. So you're in those kind of conditions with solid rock, it really hurts you. Today we've made a pretty good stride. We hadn't had much. Let's see here, probably tell me here, I'm 53 acres an hour with this toolbar.
Oh, that's good running. And you get about 40 acres between your tanks before you have to switch out?
36, that's correct. So if you could run like that, you could cover some acres, but that and hooking up in different fields, and you know, that's hard to make those kind of averages.
Well, the main thing is it gets done, and these tractors play a big part in getting those acres covered quickly.
That's right. Keep her rolling, that's a good thing.
When the anhydrous application is completed and prior to corn planting, the farm uses 6 John Deere tractors equipped with 50-foot wide McFarlane harrows that help to smooth out and firm up the seedbed. They use John Deere 7R210, 8R230, and 8R250 tractors. The model numbers correspond with their engine horsepower. The McFarlane harrows do not do a lot of intensive tillage. They do a great job in lightly working the surface, preparing that seedbed for the planter. As the harrow is working, we can take a look at the ground where the applicators have run. They roughed up the surface, applying the anhydrous. We can see there's still the soybean residue
and the wheat stubble here on top, along with these clods of earth. They're hard, and now when this harrow comes through, it's going to smooth it out for the planters to have a good firm surface to run on. So now when we look down on this soil in the same spot, we can see that the straw residue have been spread out, and the surface now just has smaller particles of soil on it, and this will be a good seed bed for the planters to run across.
With the fertilizer and the harrowing steps completed, it's time to plant corn, and the farm uses 5 440 engine horsepower John Deere 9R 440 tractors with 1775 NT 24-row 30-inch spaced corn planters that run 60 feet wide per pass. The rule of thumb for the farm is for every 100 acres of corn that they have to plant, they have 1 row unit. That means that each of these tractors and planters cover 2,400 acres of the 12,000 that needs to be planted.
So Matt has the tractor programmed, and the 1775 NT is full of corn, and the tractor's fertilizer tanks are full. There's 600 gallons out front, and we'll start here on the first pass in the field after Matt just finished putting the headlands on all the way around the perimeter of the field. So Matt, always great to have a ride along here. And so what do you do when you're first starting out? Do you just have to set an AB line with the monitor there? Or?
Yeah, I did that when I was doing my headland passes. I set it along this road right here because it's a nice straight shot. So we're making my first pass now.
So you just have to hit that auto steer button and drop the planter down here.
Yep.
And we're off on the first 60-foot pass.
And actually, we got fancy this year and got the new subscription. We're all with all the automation, so it turns itself on the end now. I don't have to do much but just sit here and pay attention. But it's pretty nice. It's the turn automation, the auto path. So like when we come back and spray, all the AB lines will be there, and we can follow the rows. Same thing with combine, and you won't have any guess rows. You can come in and they'll have the AB lines for you, and you just pull in, hit the button, and let it go. So
that'll make it pretty nice.
It'd be really nice.
So I see we have a little bit of overlap here on the headland, so that I guess shuts off the seed on those units until you get back out on the square of the field.
It does, yep. Like right now, there's 2 rows shut off. It's overlapping. It does every 2 rows. So every 2 rows that overlap, it shuts them off to save seed, save overlap.
Well, that's very handy technology.
It is. It makes combining pretty nice too.
So with this planter and the tractor, we're running here at 5.2 miles per hour at about 1,700 RPM.
5.4.
All right,
I had to
crank it
go
up.
slow.
So I know that there's a lot of high-speed planters out there where you can do 8-10 miles per hour, but this is pretty good speed for the farm, and you guys like a little bit more basic planter just to...
Yeah, there's just less to go wrong with it, I guess. I mean, we can plant 12,000 acres in 6 or 7 days, so it's not like we don't need the high speed. We can get it done quick enough with these. So
I know you guys are hard to keep up with. If I don't film you on the first day, it's you're done.
Yeah.
So the farm has 5 of these 9R 440s, which I had a chance to see in the yard with 5 of the planters.
Yeah, I had them all nice and lined up for you. I did that.
Right.
I did that on purpose.
Nobody parked one going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
It looked good. So I know people always ask, here you got this big gigantic 440 horsepower tractor, and someone says you don't need that, and you could do that with an 8R or a 7R.
Yeah.
But there's also other considerations besides just the size of the tractor.
Oh yeah, well that, and I don't know if you've ever pulled a 24-row planter down the road with an 8R. It's not much fun. This plus when you're carrying 600 gallons of fertilizer on the tractor, it's nice to have the extra power.
So, and this tractor's on its first job of the year, so you probably have maybe 100 hours on it at this point, or
75.
75 hours. Here,
Yeah.
we'll take a look at that.
Right there.
So it's got its first 75 hours. And how many acres of corn have you guys planted already, or this tractor?
Total, I've planted 1650. I think. I mean, multiply that by 5. That's, or give or take. That's what we've got done. So.
But this tractor then will jump over to grain cart duty in winter wheat, and then in corn, you'll disc with it, and then back on the grain cart duty for soybeans, and then you'll rip the soybean ground. So by the end of the year, you're probably looking at 900 to 1,000 hours on this one tractor.
Pretty close, yeah.
So that's a lot of jobs, and that's why it's not just a planter tractor.
Right. We use these for almost everything.
So we can see the nice tight turn here with the planter and the tractor, and we'll head to that next 60-foot pass. Oh, just before we go, I know you're on Instagram, so how can people find you if they want to kind of see what you're doing on a daily basis so you're on the farm?
Yep, just go to @IamMatt567 on Instagram, and I try to post as often as I can when I'm not too busy. But I got some cool pictures and stuff of what's going on around here, so check it out.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
I hope you've enjoyed following the corn planting process on this Western Kentucky farm. I would like to hear in the comment section below this video if you raise corn on your farm. I would like to hear about the tractor and planter that you're running. Tell me if you are running conventional tillage in planting or if you're all no-till. If you've appreciated this presentation, I hope that you'll consider subscribing to Big Tractor Power YouTube, where there's over 2,000 videos of farm machines in action. As always, thank you for watching.